And it looks like we are live, I do believe. I think we are. Yep, all good by the looks of that. G'day, g'day, Rob or Blurt, Outback Vaping, and I hope you're all having a bloody ripper day. So tonight, we've got something completely, totally different. We don't have a RDA. It's not an RTA. It's not a mod as such. G'day, Subaru. How's it going, mate? Hope you have, well, it's night time here in Australia, so morning for you. And yeah, this is actually a bit of a show and tell tonight, basically, not a review as such. Bloody ripper to have you here, mate. Thanks for joining me. I knew what you were saying. Anyway, so tonight, as I said, it's not a review, it's something a little bit different, a little bit unique. One of my own personal creations, actually. I made a timber sleeve to go over a mech tube. I'll flip it, take it down and give you a closer look in a second. So basically, I turned something like this into something like that. Then I banged a hole through it, cut it down with a bench saw, got the Dremel out and a drill and a lot of sandpaper, and I don't have a lathe or anything, so yeah, this has all been done by hand from scratch. So yeah, something a little bit different. So I'm going to flip it, we'll take it down, and I'll show you what I did. Sorry about seeing the roof for a second there, guys. Alright. We'll place this down for a sec. Tilt that back a bit and we'll zoom in. Make it a bit easier. Alright. So, there's a close-up of the sleeve. This is using an Australian hardwood. I cut down the tree myself. It's actually, I use it for firewood. Mulga. It is, or mile wood. And basically what I did was, as I said, I grabbed one of those pieces of wood, cut it down to a basic square shape, took off the corners and all of that using the bench saw. Then I got there and I sanded it back, rubbed it back, drilled the hole first, cut around the hole, and that took a bit of time, a bit of sanding out. Drilled it out as close as I could and used sandpaper on the end of a drill bit and kept spinning it till I got it to the right size. Then what I did was, because I had this pretty nicely shaped, I got the Dremel out, shaved it all down, and I hadn't thought about any of this at that point. So I got one of my hole saws and I cut a hole straight through the side, and then once I did that, I held on to it like this. And then I grabbed a pencil and followed my finger lines around and ground those bits out a little bit, just so as you got this nice little recess. Now the tube I used is an old Mad Hatter tube, and I wanted to use this tube because it had a button that threaded on the inside of the tube, not on the outside of the tube, and it was also where you loaded your battery. So nice basic little switch on this thing. It was a nice little tube, and when I say little, it was nice and little. That was my problem. It was a bit too small for my hand. I've got big hands and just a bit fiddly for me. So nice little simple button. It's actually held in with an O-ring there, copper contact. That's just a insulator that pops out on its own. You take the O-ring out, that comes out, and it's just a solid one-piece button with a spring. Not much to go over. Nice neat tube, hybrid connection. So yeah, and what else I did was, after I got everything else ready and it all shaped and half looking nice, I got there and I got my Dremel out, and on the very top of the tube, just around the edge there, if I bring that right up you can see it, I cut a groove in and mounted a rubber O-ring to help stop any juice and all of that getting and seeping down in between the timber, and plus to help neaten it up and give a nicer finish. Next time I will be trying to mount a rubber O-ring on the bottom as well. What I can do a bit later on is pack that with a bit of the sawdust from it and a bit of super glue and give that another little rub back and another coat, and that'll just about disappear completely just then. But yeah, something I'm looking into doing is getting tubes and customizing timber sleeves for them, just as a hobby, something to do. So yeah, after I did all that for the final sand down, I grabbed one of the polishing bits that you get for your drill, put that in here. I mounted the tube, all of that, put that in here. Then I got it and spun the hell out of it for the final couple of sands. Got in here and gave it a bit of a rub up. And the final coat is a coat with beeswax. I rubbed beeswax all over it while it was hard, and then hit it with a blowtorch very gently to melt it into the wood, polish it. Do that 3 or 4 times, and Bob's your uncle. Turned a plain old stainless steel tube into a nice little custom 18650. Very, very comfortable in the hand. Like, it just sits beautifully in the hand now. So we'll flip it back up, put an RDA and a battery in it, and I have a couple of toots on it, and yeah, keep talking. Flip that up. Alrighty then, there we go. Back up top. Using the Goon 1.5 on it at the moment. And I'll be using Samsung, VTC5 as the battery. So yeah, something a little bit different. And unique. So custom made tube sleeve. As I said, something I'm thinking about getting into and doing a few of them here and there just for the hell of it. A bit of fun. So yeah, that's how you might even do a few videos on the process later on, showing you how I actually did it. So something like this into something like this. So once again, and I think it'd look good stainless steel, brass, or any type of tube that I use, really. Nice looking timber, something a bit different and unique. So yeah, and the tube itself wasn't too bad in the first place. As I said, I like the little ripples in it, sort of gave it a little bit of a texture, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show. As I said, nice short show and tell tonight, nothing really major, and I hope to see you again sometime soon here on Outback Vaping. Have a bloody ripper night, and I'll scratch your crater. Later.